Hello, bright and shiny beacons of light. I'm Michael Sandler, your host on Inspire Nation, along with the Pookie, who is next to me here. And I am realizing I don't have my notes up yet, but that's okay. We can make that work. I am so excited to see everybody here tonight, even though I have completely lost my windows or where I am. But I guess that means that we will be diving into the upper room. We are going to have fun tonight, and we are going to align with powerful, positive energy. That's actually a boot camp. We're teaching tomorrow 5 days of aligning with power. Let's say that 10 times fast. With powerful, positive energy and transmuting this funk into something that we can work with. And I can see tonight I am going to be pounding on this countertop a lot, but I'm going to be pounding on this countertop out of love. All right. I felt like I was in a funk today. I don't know about you. And I used a lot of my tools to help bring me back almost from the brink. There's so much going on right now. It's not just that there is negative news, because there's an interesting thing I've been learning, which is it's not all about the news. What do I mean by that? You can step as far away as you want from the news right now, and you can still feel in a funk. You can feel trapped. You can feel stuck. You can feel overwhelmed. I woke up this morning. I had a very interesting dream last night that I think was a positive dream. Oh, yes. I woke up this morning as la leche mejor. I woke up this morning as the better milk is what I got. And I had yet another dream about being able to dream underwater or breathe underwater. But I woke up and I told the Pookie, I'm massaging her, which is letting her know that I'm talking about her, not that I actually need her to say anything. But I woke up feeling this morning like I'd screwed up and ruined everything, and I was completely behind on everything. And truth be told, I've had a hard time shaking it today. It's not me. If I go to the news today, what's the number one story? Well, there's left and right news. I'm not going to even go there. But one of the number one stories worldwide is, well, we could have done more about this had we started earlier. And that's the sense that I was feeling this morning, that I wasn't doing enough early enough. It's not mine. When we talk about transmuting fear, transmuting negative energy, the first thing that we have to realize is what's mine and what's not. Because chances are a lot of the funkiness that you're feeling right now isn't even coming from you. That doesn't mean that it becomes ridiculously easy to transmute it or to shift it. But if you can at least recognize, hey, this is not coming from me, then you don't have to take full ownership of it. With that said, I see a bunch of rabbit ears coming up. So for everybody who is celebrating Easter today, happy Easter. Easter seems to have been forgotten for those who celebrate it in this really weird, whacked out time of year. Now, I have over the years celebrated many spiritual traditions because I see them all at the top as the absolute most beautiful thing in the world. And so this is just on so many levels, such a funky time. So I'll say happy Easter. I'll say happy Passover. And if you're celebrating anything else during this time, celebrate it. Don't let the news stop you. Align with the highest vibration that you can during this time. Align with it, align with it, align with it. After all, what do we have? You and I and the Pookie and the meowsers behind me, we are all tuning forks. And that tuning fork goes in two directions. Rabbit's ears. What directions do tuning forks go in? One, you can attune to the frequency of everything around you. So that could be the attunement of the field bringing you down, saying you haven't done enough, saying what the numbers are, saying what this is, saying for how long this is going to continue. And I can watch the numbers on a precipitous decline as you're watching me attuning to something lower, or you can, woohoo, we'll call these rabbit ears too, attune to a higher frequency, attune to a new vibration, attune to a new image of what is possible for the world. That's why I've been going to positive news and positive news stories and positive music. And I've got to tell you, they're so off key that I love it. Having the doctors, the nurses, the dancing and singing and doing all sorts of this riffing in hospitals, I have been really grooving on. Why? Because it's attuning to a higher frequency. What we're really challenged with, and when we're talking about transmuting fear, and of course, I have a whole boot camp this week, and I hope to see every single one of you there Monday through Friday. We're going to be doing EFT tapping, clinically studied, to help shift energy from fear, from anxiety, to more positivity, to a more powerful place, to opening up what's possible for your future. But with that said, when it comes to attunement, when it comes to alignment, when it comes to shifting energy, there really is no such thing as bad energy. Yes, you heard me right. There's no such thing as bad energy. It is the implication, it is the inference that we give to it. If we say this energy is bad, it's gonna hurt. If we say this energy is good, it's going to lift you up. The challenge isn't negative energy. It's that you and I have not been trained to handle so much energy. So I went down earlier today. I threw myself outside in nature. I did a whole bunch of tapping. The Pookie didn't see it, but I was walking down the driveway going, I love myself, even though I love myself, even though I love myself, even though I love myself, even though, so that I can plug into a higher vibration. But the challenge isn't the energy. It's that we don't know how to handle this much energy. I woke up this morning and I'm an empath. I'm incredibly sensitive to the energies around me. And I am 1/10, 100th, 1,000th the sensitivity of the Pookie next to me, or of the kitty cats, or perhaps even to you. Because if you are attracted to our energy, then you are an empath yourself. The challenge with being an empath is we don't know how to handle the bull. What's the bull? That's all of the energy that we've been gifted. And if we don't know what to do with it, that's where the challenge lies. We get into fights, we pick fights, we drink, we do all sorts of drugs, we do internet porn, we do anything and everything we can to defuse the bomb because we have no idea. We will literally pick fights or go online and go, same to you, sucker, in a chat room, because we are trying to gift them with an overabundance of energy. Let's take a few deep breaths. I feel like a pastor at a sermon, but let's take a few deep breaths. I love pastors, love sermons, good sermons. In through the nose, down to the belly. Hold it there. Back out through the nose. In one more time. Hold it there. Back out through the nose. I'm going to teach you right now a breathing exercise. It's one that we actually talked about real briefly last night that helps you to transmute energy into, I'm going to call it a more, what would be the best way to put it? A higher coherence biorhythm. What in the world does that mean? It means that everything inside of you, if you're carrying too much energy, is just pinballing into each other, bouncing off of things left and right. You feel scattered this way, you feel scattered that way, you feel forward, back, every which way. There's nothing you can do to get grounded. Box breathing helps. What's box breathing? It means you breathe into a certain count, you hold it for that count. You exhale for a count, you hold it for that count. I first learned box breathing, or first really noticed the profound difference. I'd been injured in NDE number 2. I mentioned it on the show last night. I came back to Maui and I was exhausted. I was flipped upside down and backwards. I was so weak on my crutches that I could barely make it 3 steps up into the little hut or room that a future dear friend of ours by the name of Richard Yap had, who was practicing light codes and light healing and using this amazing light called the Lucia to reset the nervous system. And in this room, when I got up these 3 steps on crutches, he hooked me up to some jumper cables. Kind of cool. And what he was looking at is all of the pulses, like your Chinese meridians, to see how my immune system was firing, how my different organs were firing, how I was moving chi or energy through the body. And he found that while I had a biological age of 40 or so, my all of my systems were operating as if and so he had me do the 5 count box breath, and everything came back into alignment. And all of a sudden, all of his charts and graphs and everything that was saying how poorly my body was doing all went from like the red zone to the yellow into the green zone. So I want you to do this with me, and I'd like you to do this moving forward. If there are any days in the next week or 2 that you feel you are drinking from a fire hose of out of coherence energy. What's out of coherence energy? If it doesn't feel like it's coming from pure love, then it is out of coherence, because our true nature is love. So what I'd like you to do is the 5 count. Here it is. Super, super simple. I do all of these breathing exercises in and out through the nose. Why? Because as babies, we were obligatory nasal breathers. Fancy term that meant if you breathed from the mouth, you couldn't get mama's milk, so you breathed through the nose, which meant breathing through the nose had a rest, relax, and digest response to it. So we're going to do our breathing exercises in and out through the nose. All right, here we go. And close your eyes as long as you're not driving down the road. But then again, the question is, if you're driving down the road, how in the world are you watching this? Watch the road. Come back to this later on. All right, here we go. Breathe in through the nose. 2, 3, 4, 5, and hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, and out through the nose. 2, 3, 4, 5, and hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, and in. 2, 3, 5, and hold. And out. 2, 3, 4, 5, and hold. And in. 2, 3, 4, 5, and hold. And in, in, out, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and hold. 2, 3, 4, and 5. One more time. In, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and hold. 2, 3, 4, and 5, and out. 2, 3, 4, and 5, and hold. 2, 3, 4, and 5. How do you feel now? Can you notice the difference in my voice? I have gone from talking more up here, being this chipper monkey squirrel, and I was very happy, and I was very excited, and I was, to dropping down, vibrating at a deeper level, feeling more grounded and more centered. And it's by no accident that I'm speaking with my voice this way, because not only do you get to sync up, or can we sync up with things outside of ourselves, but we can literally sync up with our voice. Sort of like one of my favorite mantras on my own. We did this in a class a week or two ago. We did this with the volume on for everybody. Didn't work so well, but lesson learned is I love going to one more time. Syncing up with such a sound is incredibly grounding. And in a sense, it comes from someplace beyond ourselves, but it comes from some place within ourselves. So when you're finding yourself spun, when you're finding yourself fearful or anxious, so far tonight, you can go to a box breath. You can go to Om. You can simply drop your voice down to a lower octave. All of these things are simple ways to transmute your energy. You can simply sit back and go, wow, I've got a lot of energy right now. It's coursing through me. I don't know what to do about it. And you can say a great shamanic line. To be a shaman means to be able to see clearly. See clearly. You can go, wow, isn't that interesting? That's one of my favorite lines. And I don't take credit for it. Suzanne Giesman's the first one that mentioned it on the show. I call it snow globing. To me, snow globing is to imagine that this amazing obsidian stone here that the Pookie got me last month, right before everything went down in Sedona. Imagine this is a snow globe. And let's say that I'm fearful and anxious. And I can simply pick up the snow globe that is my fear and anxiety. This is the coolest stone, Pookster. This is the coolest stone. And I can picture it, my fear and anxiety, and I can look at the snow globe this way. I can look at it that way. I can say, where is this coming from? What does it mean? Why is it here? How is it here to serve me? And instead of taking ownership of that overabundance of energy, I can instead be the observer of it. And when I'm the observer of it, it loses all power and control over me. And now, what's that mean? I'll tell you in a minute. You can make a subtle shift and point it in the direction you want to go. So what does this mean? Kicking out to the side. I'm having a lot of fun here tonight. So I'm a speed skater. Used to be a decent-ish. No, I was terrible but strong. I used to be a terrible but strong short track speed skater. Did get to train at the Olympic Training Center. It was incredibly lucky of me. I was not that good. I did have an amazing coach, Bonnie Blair's sister, though, and all my love out to Mary Pulaski, who transitioned many years ago at this point. But I remember I was a referee for college intramural hockey. I played college intramural hockey, and I was so fast on my skates that one day I was invited to do either a JV game, or we had a D1 high school, college, Colorado College. I got to play at right beneath the top level for one game, and one game only. Here's Michael with the puck. Now that alone should tell you something. Here's Michael with the puck. Pookie, I've got to interrupt you. Think about this phrase for a second, because you know my coordination skills. You know my ball handling skills. Here's Michael with the puck. What does that mean to you?
I have no idea what the context is.
Where I'm going with this is, have you ever seen me actually highly coordinated at any point in your life?
Only by accident.
So when I say, here's Michael with the puck, I'm already in trouble. Would you agree?
Yes, I thought you were talking about another Michael.
Oh no, I'm talking about the one playing against, not even the D1 guys, playing with the level below the D1 guys, like your walk-on guys for the Colorado College, which was like number 2 or number 3 hockey team in the country at that point. And I have the puck. And I'm headed down the ice, and I've got the puck. And first off, that means I'm in big trouble, because what in the world am I going to do with this thing? And one of the top players comes up and just leans against me. And he's just leaning against me, and I'm flying along, and I'm really fast. And I think I'm actually going to get a shot off. And all he does is the subtlest whoop, flick of his hip. And I go flying and spinning out into the boards. Ba-boom! What happened? He did almost nothing. And yet I was completely spun out and totally lost control. What he did is transmuted my forward energy in another direction with a 1-degree shift. Now I learned a very valuable lesson about how I do not have the puck nor skating skills that these hockey players did. It's fine for me to go fast around in a circle, fast on a path, as I love to do these days, but not fast with the puck. Lesson learned, although it was fun, it was exciting, till that moment where I hit the boards. That's what transmuting energy is about, though. It's not about hitting the boards. It's about subtle shifts. We don't have to be an alchemist, to make major changes in your life. Doesn't mean you have to put massive effort into it. You can put tiny, small, infinitesimally small bits of effort into it and make massive shifts. So one of those could be smile. Seems kind of goofy, doesn't it? Well, the funny thing is, from a biochemical perspective, from a neuroscience perspective, when you smile, you release happy drugs. You literally change your entire biochemistry. You boost your immune system. You shift your hormonal levels. You literally can start producing hormones that you haven't produced maybe since you were a teen. Not from doing this big, massive effort or going to the gym or buying human growth hormone. Simply by smiling. Tiny little shifts make massive results. That's why when we do something like tapping, where we are focused together for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, or do it in a group, oh my God, are the changes monumental. I'm about to sneeze here, so I'm going to actually pause. Or actually, there is no mute button here. I couldn't find a mute button, Pookie. That was a lot of energy moving through me. Subtle little shifts make massive differences. I was asked recently, what do I like to align with the most to make differences? I'm an archangel guy. It's interesting. I'm reading my book, Automatic Writing, right now. This book was written last fall, comes out in September. I absolutely love the content, but it's interesting. I wasn't out of the closet nearly as much as I am now. What does that mean? Well, it means that I was trying to appeal to everyone, which you run the risk of appealing to no one. And so I was talking about God, source, universe, angels as being your inner wisdom, which it is. That voice that you hear inside of you that has you steer the car is absolutely your inner wisdom. But I wasn't saying God, source, angels. Well, the truth of the matter is, I say God, source, angels all of the time. And that too is an attunement. It is an alignment. It is an energetic shift. And I've been encouraging all of my coaching clients right now to be unabashedly spiritual. I have coaching clients in the West End. I have coaching clients on all these amazing countries around the world. I have coaching clients that feel like the people around them wouldn't fully understand them if they shared their full spirituality. But I'm here to say right now, we're experiencing a global near-death experience. If not now, then when? And they get it. My coaching clients, I love them so much. They get it when I tell them this. If not now, then when? Align yourself with the highest source you've got right now. Align yourself to your spirit. Align yourself to your guides. Align yourself to whatever raises your vibration, and share that with the world, because we all need to hear it right now. Every single one of us needs to hear, now is the time to align with the higher power, not the time to align with CNN, not the time to align with Fox, not the time to align with, well, maybe positive.news or something like that. Sure, go for it. But align with the highest power that you can. That's one of the most beautiful things about Easter, about Passover, about all of these holidays, is these are times of aligning ourselves with what we truly believe in at the highest level. That's what we get to do. The Pookie, do you know what her religion has been today? I know I'd be catching you off guard if I was to ask, but I know what religion you've been practicing today. Kitty creativity. She has been using, I'm going to call it body yarn. I don't know what to call this stuff. It is so thick.
Body yarn. Chunky yarn.
Chunky yarn. She's like tempted to. So the Meowsers, which I have the microphone here, I don't know if you can see that. This was woven with her body, not with not with
needles.
Thank you. Where she puts one arm through and the other arm. And so she's been doing body weaving today, which first off is aligning with a higher power. If you are in the creative process, you are aligning with a higher power. If you're writing, if you're drawing, if you're doodling, if you're coming up with training plans, if you're sewing, if you're dancing, if you're singing, you are in the creative process. You are aligning with a higher power. And then if you're doing something that's good for others, in this case for the kitties, who absolutely love their kitty beds. And I don't understand it personally because I need to see more color, but they're like, Dada, you just don't understand. If you put yourself in these body yarn beds, they feel, so good. And that's what you've done. You've aligned yourself with love, with what somebody else needs, and kitties. There's no higher vibration than your kitties, than your puppies, than your babies. You've aligned yourself with love, and you did it in the creative process. So ask yourself when you go down, what can I do to get my energy going? And one of those things is, how can I align myself with a creative process? What would that look like? For me, I'm a little intimidated. My creative process is, how can I mold my skates at the moment to work better with my feet? And I admit I got in a lot of trouble in school with arts and craft classes. I got in trouble with my teachers. And so I'm very intimidated by this stuff. Forgive me. I don't even have a cold, but for whatever reason, the amount of energy flowing through me, I'm sneezy a little tonight.
Maybe you're detoxing.
The question is, detoxing what? But yes, I could be detoxing.
The funk earlier?
You know, that's a good point. I could be detoxing the funk earlier. And so let's get the funk out of me. Sorry, everyone. Okay. So let us align with the creative process. Let us do something that's fun to us. Let us find something where we completely and totally lose our sense of time. That's plugging into something greater than yourself. That's the creative process. Also look at, how can we get our energy flowing? Oftentimes when we feel down, when we feel stuck, we are holding on to so much energy, but we are not moving it. It would have been hard for that hockey player to shift me from one side of the rink to the other unless I had a lot of energy already going inside of me, and then it was a very subtle shift. What does that mean? It's why I'm so optimistic about the future right now. Because right now there is so much energy moving. It doesn't mean that we're going to dark. It doesn't mean that we're going downhill. It doesn't mean that we're going to have a collective collapse. Sure, we could choose that collective nightmare, but it means that we are light, we can pivot, we can shift. All it takes is a subtle kick to the side. And instead of going all the way to the negative, we've flown to the positive because we are light and so much energy is pumping through us. So let's get that energy moving. Go for walks, go for runs, go for skates, go to nature, go hug a tree. Do anything that gets your energy moving. Earlier today, it was boing, 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 me on a rebounder in the house because it was still snowing out here this morning, and it's been in the 60s. It was actually 70 plus here 2 days ago. I wasn't ready for 25, 30 degrees and snow. So I started going up and down on the rebounder, and I felt much better because I got the energy flowing. Tina just wrote, is there a way to remove inflammation from the body? There are books on how, and we know someone who has a new book coming out on how a rebounder itself affects the lymphatic system and helps remove inflammation from the body. So Tina, bring that question back to the Pookster in a minute. I'm going to answer that on other levels. But moving energy, getting the body flowing, particularly bouncing up and down, helps with inflammation and certainly helps get that energy flowing. Get yourself to nature. Oh my God, you want to transmute energy? When we're stuck in our house, when we're stuck in our apartment, it is very hard to feel good about the world. And so while there is social distancing, unless you're in one of the few cities or countries that has a full and complete and total lockdown, get yourself out now more than ever. Even if you're like in the streets of Paris or in Paris itself, and I think it's like 10 to 7 or something that's locked down. Get yourself out first thing in the morning. Get that energy flowing. If you can see a sunrise, watch the sunrise or watch it off axis. I'm not trying to say stare at the sun, but that is getting energy flowing. But get yourself out, get yourself out, get yourself out. It is the most valuable thing you can do to get yourself out of your stuck perspective. Subtle shifts, and that's not even such a subtle one, of going from stuck inside a little metal box to be out with a more expansive view. Heck, get yourself down by the river. Oh my God, does water. We had on the most amazing guest twice. I think it's probably time to have him back on. Nicholas J. Wallace. I call him Jay. He's been on the cover of Outside magazine. He's one of the leading oceanographers or ocean conservationists worldwide. And he talks about a blue mind. In fact, that's the name of his book. I can't recommend it enough. Blue mind. When you are plugged into water and water that is flowing, key point, energy circulating, you feel so much better. Get to a river, get to a large lake so that there's water flowing, not necessarily to a small stagnant pond, doesn't have the same feeling. Get yourself to the ocean. Feel that spray. If it's safe, and there's some discussion about this right now, but if you know where it is safe, get yourself out by the water. You will feel so much better. I've been discussing with the Pookie, and I think it is time for us to get a little fountain in the house again. The Pookie's going, yes. So let's put that on the list somewhere. Let's get a fountain so that we can get that energy flowing. And then last, and I want to open it up early to some questions tonight, is focus on music that helps you to shift. There is music that makes you want to sing and dance. There is music that makes you want to smash things. Stop playing the music that makes you want to smash things and the movies that are associated with them, and go to music that makes you want to dance. What do we do at our boot camps? What's the first thing that we do, Pookie? What do we do at the start of each and every boot camp now?
10 woohoos.
We do 10 woohoos. And then what do we do after that? Dun, dun, dun. Might be crazy what I'm about to say. We dance.
Karaoke?
We sing and dance. Makes me happy. Na, 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 na. Get yourself happy. Okay. Am I sounding silly? Yes. Am I sounding childish? I hope so. Am I sounding fun? Please, dear God, yes. Have fun. Be childlike, not childish. There's a big difference. It's very subtle, but it's in there. But bring yourself back to what brings you greatest joy. Without shame, without embarrassment, without being apologetic, because we need you there. The more you get to that higher room, to that upper room, to that greater energetic state, the more that you bring everybody around there with you. And yes, somebody else is mentioning barefoot, and we have grounding pads on our bed. We have grounding pads by our computers that we work on. I just don't have one here for my lives, and I do mention that about once a week. The Pookie is our purchaser of everything. It is wise to have one designated purchaser in the family, but we will be getting more grounding mats to get that energy flowing. All right, I'm going to open it up to a whole bunch of questions here tonight. I haven't even gone to my notes tonight, Pookie. I had a feeling about this one. I just wanted to focus on the energy, because that's what we're talking about. Oh, we have a class this week. You are going to love it. 5 days, 8:30 Eastern Daylight Time, 5:30 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. It is going to be, we are going to do Eft tapping, a clinically proven technique where we put negative statements with positive statements. We tap on different acupressure points together as a group to dial down your fear, dial down your anxiety. We do it in a group, which 10x's it, 100x's it, even 1,000x's the power of individual tapping. And then I have some powerful subconscious techniques that I'm going to teach you to then. We're going to transmute the negative to the positive. We're going to transmute your fear and anxiety into powerful positive energy. We're going to transmute those feelings of being stuck, of being trapped, of being impatient, of being concerned about everything that's going on in your life. And we're going to help funnel that into a positive direction with you. You're going to be there with new friends and family so that you are going to feel inspired and on fire. It's on Zoom. If you want, you can hide and you don't have to be seen. Not a problem. We'll love you whether you're showing yourself on camera or not. But we are going to help you take your energy every day this week to a completely new level and give you the tools to have stick with it. Plus, we will do group intention setting meditations to help the planet and to help you and your family each and every evening. You'll sleep better. You'll feel better. I'm sure I have boot campers in here. They're called boot camps because they're Monday through Friday. I'd say they're intense, but we don't want intense right now. We are all overwhelmed. So they are kind and gentle and the opposite of intense, but they are powerful. So if there are any boot campers here, feel free to mention how it's been in the tapping camps, in our other boot camps. There will be singing. There will be dancing. There will be woohooing. There will be people crying from the rafters. No, there won't. But we will be having amazing time. It's $7 for the whole week. If you can't make a class, it's recorded. It's still only $7. If you can't make any of the classes, it's still only $7, and you get a recording of every class. So if you make one class, it's great. If you make all classes, it's great. If you make half of the classes, it's great. If the time zone's a little late for you, you can get the recordings. It's great. If you can't afford $7, let me be serious for a second. I don't feel like being serious tonight, but if you can't afford $7, not a problem. So many people have been donating, and if you're signing up tonight, please feel free to donate as well. People have been paying $7 for themselves, and then they've been paying $7 for somebody else to come in, and we've been matching that. So for everybody who puts in $7, we bring in 2 extra people. How does it get better than this? And so we have scholarships available. So if you are not in the place that you can afford $7 right now, don't feel bad about it at all. We've all been there. More of us are going through this right now than we could ever imagine. We love you. We love you. We love you. Shoot us a line. Go to write to inspirenationshow.com/contact. Again, inspirenationshow.com. She's ahead of me. /contact, and let's scholarship you in. So come join us all week. It will be a beautiful, joyous, uplifting experience with a lot of stick behind it. With that said, I am now going to turn the mic over to the Pookie, who has one request for me. And so I'm going to be paying particular attention to this, which is I have been swiveling the mic in her direction. Oh, we get to buy a better mic stand. That's the one missing element on my things to purchase list. A better mic stand. This mic stand likes to attack things. We love you, mic stand. So I'm going to swivel the mic over to her, and I need to make sure I keep it there until she finishes the question, because it is a very directional microphone.
We agreed for this very long one that you would read it. Remember?
Okay, but we do have to point where it is.
It's from Q.
Q
formerly
from
known as
Star
Cosmo.
Trek. Q, formerly known as Cosmo, formerly known as Joe, formerly known as, hey, we love you. If it's true that what we focus on a continual basis we align with, so I'll repeat that again. If it's true that what we focus on a continual basis we align with, and I'm going to agree with that, what we focus on a continual basis is what we align with. So if we are focusing on, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, that's a technical term, then what we get is more oh shit in our lives. If what we focus on is angels, harps, goodness, angels, harps, goodness, angels, harp, goodness, it doesn't mean there won't be some oh shit, but overall we're going to get more angels, harps, and goodness in our lives. And so if it's true that what we focus on a continual basis we align with, I'm going to agree with that. And in that alignment, we start to resonate in the same frequency and vibration. Absolutely couldn't agree more. So to raise your vibration is to find something of an extremely high frequency and vibration and focus continuously on that. That wasn't even the question? Oh, wow. Okay, so I'm going to agree with that second part. So to raise your vibration is to find something of an extremely high frequency and vibration and continuously focus on that. Absolutely. Focus on a smile, focus on love, focus on a baby's love, focus on an attunement statement like from Paul Selig, focus on the love between you and somebody else, focus on this, focus on any of the stuff that we've been talking about tonight. So question number one is, do you agree that raising your frequency and vibration is just a matter of what we continuously focus on? Yes, with a caveat. So you can attune to it, and that's part one. You can attune to it without realizing it. We all get songs stuck in our heads and we end up attuning to it. And most popular music, if you listen to the lyrics, are actually incredibly disempowering. So it's important to be careful of what the worm is in your mind that you attune to. But I'm going to say that most importantly, it is a choice. So for instance, if you're going to a place of prayer, if you're going to, in my case, I go to the angels continuously. I'll go to Mother Earth continuously. I'll go to my guides continuously. But if I do that out of rote, if I do that out of repetition without heart behind it, then there is not that stick. Best example of this, Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, talks about writing down your I'll use my words, not his, writing down your intention statement and then reading it back to yourself 2 or 3 times a day. To me, that does very little about bringing you into the upper room. Why? Because there's no longer the energy behind it. You're reading once, twice, 3 times a day. I want to make $1 million. I want to run my own business. I want to XYZ. That doesn't do it. But if you are writing out from the heart with that power, with that energy. I want to make $1 million. I'm so excited to align myself with a business that helps change the world. I'm so incredibly over the top about boom, boom, boom. And you keep saying that throughout the day. This is choice. This is resonance. This is action. Choice, resonance, action. CRA. Choice, resonance, action. If you do that, you can't help but go to the upper room. And that begins with a decision. Part B.
Part B. What, in your opinion, should we focus on to consistently raise our vibration and frequency?
What should we continuously focus on to raise our frequency and vibration? Cosmo, Joe, Q. It's unique to every single one of us. It is what pulls at your heartstrings. What resonates and excites and attracts me may be the exact opposite of works for you. So yes, we can use statements. I love Paul Selig's guide statement. I know who I am in truth. I know what I am in truth. I know how I serve in truth. I am free. I am free. I am free. But on top of that, I would say, what pulls you? What calls you? What excites you? What attracts you? Why do I go into my automatic writing each and every morning? Because I want to see what is pulling at my heartstrings beyond something that's just rote or repetition. Not that that's not a good place to start. But we are all alchemists. We are all wizards. We are all magicians. We are all playing with energy. And we want to play with the highest vibration energy we can. And that energy is different. Okay, we all came from love. This is true. But what does that mean on a literal level here right now, on a practical, pragmatic level, rather than just a warm and a fuzzy, we came from love? Each and every one of us has a gift wrapped around our heart, Q. Each and every one of us, it's different. You're a Mr. Metaphysical guy of metaphysics of metaphysics. You groove on this stuff. You live for this stuff. You eat, breathe, live, drink. If you could, you'd birth this stuff. You can through writing, through sharing, through speaking, through teaching, Q. That's where you get to go. That's what brings you up. For somebody else, it may be body knitting or playing with kitties or rescuing animals or figuring out polling for whatever elections are coming up. It can be something completely different for each and every one of us. That's what's so awesome about this world, is we each have our unique gift pulling at our hearts that will raise us up to the max. Our job is to find those gifts. I geek out running mountains. I geek out skating. In fact, I've been so enjoying lately skating the same boring, silly path and just working on perfecting my technique. How much can I get onto one edge? Lean a little bit more this way. How much can I get onto the other edge? Leaning a little bit more the other way. To most people, this would be incredibly boring. To me, it lights me up. Go with whatever is pulling at your heart without shame, without embarrassment. The words I keep getting from the guides is unabashedly be your true, authentic self, whatever it is that's pulling at your heart. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful question, Joe. Q. Cosmo, love you, man.
Okay, so Tina had asked about removing inflammation from the body, and you wanted to go back to that question.
So, Tina, if we're looking at inflammation in the body, something that I've had to deal with quite a bit based on the number of injuries that I've had in my life. We're both looking at this mic stand right here. I would throw the kitchen sink at it, Tina. So there is part of inflammation that comes from stress and anxiety. That's real. That might be 30% or so of your stress. It could be, or of your inflammation. It could even be 50% of your inflammation. So look at techniques like tapping. Go to our boot camp. Absolutely go to our boot camp and see what you can do to get your stress levels down, because stress produces cortisol, because of cortisol produces inflammation. Scientifically studied that what we think about literally produces a result in our body. So we reduce the stress. Then we look at what are the foods in our lives that are either increasing inflammation or decreasing inflammation. Certainly there are diets that are lower inflammatory diets, but also look at what's going on in your microbiome. Get a test like Viome.com. Get something that looks at your microbial, how much of this bacteria, how much of that bacteria, what's going on with your gut here, what's going on with your gut there, and find the unique foods to you that decrease inflammation. Often, unfortunately, it's the reverse of the foods that you want, Tina. So I love my pizza sauce. I love my tomato sauce. I love my salsa. And I got the darn test back a few months ago, and it said that that is actually exactly what's creating inflammation in my body. Oftentimes, the things we're attracted to too much and want to eat are the very things we get to stay away from. So work on the nutritional piece, then work on the movement piece. We started talking about that. Work on the earthing or grounding piece. How much time can you get yourself connected to the earth? Maybe through an earthing pad or an earthing mattress cover, or from barefoot time, or from sitting your butt down on the ground, or laying down on like a cotton sheet or a silver threaded sheet on the earth. How much vitamin G for ground can you get yourself? And really look at all the different ways that you can kitchen sink this. Do supplements help? Yes. Do they help as much as they believe? You know, I don't know about that, Tina. I go back and forth on supplements, and I've had some amazing guests on the supplements. Magnesium, I'm going to say, is a world-class winner when it comes to reducing inflammation. It does so many things for the body. Some of the other ones, glucosamine or glutathione, I'm going to guess yes. Vitamin C, as strange as it sounds, I'm going to guess yes. Some of the others who we've even had on the show, I don't know. I go back and forth. If there's no harm, if there's no studies that show harm, I would say go after them with a kitchen sink approach. Start one at a time so you can see what does it for your body. But I don't believe to get your inflammation down, and I could be totally wrong, that you have to completely eliminate everything that's in your wallet to do so. Many of these other pieces to me are amazing, great starting points. I have no idea what the question was, but I saw something having to do with the word chocolate and Michael that flashed up on the screen. And I think it had the word Travis by it. Okay. So Travis, I have no idea what the question is, but you rock and you rule.
The question is there somewhere I can donate to get Michael hot chocolate and a nap?
Oh my God.
Oh, he did ask if you were tired earlier.
Yes. Yes, I am fully admitting it. I've been on the mic for like 5 or 6 weeks straight, Travis. And I am honored to do this work. And I napped 3 out of the last 4 days. Today is the only day that I haven't napped. And I'm not a professional napper. That is the Pookie. She is the pro napper. But I am doing what I can to try to give myself a little more rest. I feel this is so important for everybody that we do what we can to help. But we do have to put the oxygen mask on ourselves first and foremost. As for where to donate for the hot chocolate, I would...
There's a little...
Oh, there's a lot of, that'd be the easiest thing. I was going to say the paypal.me/InspireNation, but you could just click on this $ button, and I have no idea how it works, Travis, but I will certainly take you up on that hot chocolate, and I will even have it on air. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Chocolate and Travis, how does it get any better than this?
Okay. From Tammy, I still have major anxiety, not over this pandemic, but what I have been trying to move forward with. Am I enough, in quotes, since my Dobermans died? Do you have any suggestions? You turned the mic away from me again.
I did it again. So what's happening, my apologies, is I'm going into formulating the answer.
Yes, I know.
And I'm shutting down the Pookie.
So repeat the question.
But you wanted, okay. I still have major anxiety. This is from Tammy. I still have major anxiety, not over this pandemic, but what I've been trying to move forward with. Am I enough? Since my Dobermans died, do you have any suggestions? I woke with it. I felt it all day. All right, Tammy. So this was actually, I wrote out night notes for today. And that was actually, Tammy, note number 1 is I got from the guides that I get to work with people on you are enough. So while it's not directly, it is directly related to the pandemic, actually, Tammy. So here's what's going on. even if you're doing your job 9 to 5 right now, or 8 to 6, or if you're a healthcare worker and you are working 20 hours a day, in which case you can't save everybody, which means you are not going to feel like you are enough. There is a wave of energy in us, on us, overflowing right from us right now that says we are not enough. Where is it coming from? Part of it's coming from the news. Part of it's coming from helplessness. Part of it is coming from being trapped in our homes. And part of it is coming from the ego, which we have taught. The ego is programmable. That's why this boot camp is so cool, is we can reprogram the ego. But what the ego has been taught since our earliest days, Tammy, let's see if I can use a brilliant quote from Dr. Wayne Dyer. If who I am is what I do, then if I don't, am I not? And I think I took a little creative liberty in there. If I don't, then am I not? What we have been taught since we were little kids, Tammy, is that we are only lovable and we are only enough if we're doing what makes our parents happy, what makes our teachers happy, what makes our mentors happy, not what the freak, what the flip makes us happy. And right now, as a society, we don't even get to do the things as a general rule that make us happy. And our egos are completely and totally freaking out, Tammy. That was what I was supposed to teach first and foremost tonight, but I went off on a beautiful let's follow the heart tangent and it doubled back around. So thank you for speaking the wisdom of the universe, Tammy. What's happening is right now, we feel disconnected from the to-do-itness that we each and every one of us had. We had our list. We knew what we were doing. We knew what we were doing when we came to work. And we were only worthy when we got the things done that were on our to-do list. And so right now, we are each and every one of us, unless we're in healthcare, in which case we don't feel like we can save everybody, we are feeling like we're not enough, which is bullshit. Excuse me, Tammy. We are enough. If you have a pulse, you're enough. If you don't have a pulse, you're enough. If you're a rock, and I'm not saying that lightly, you're enough. We are all spirit. We are all divine. We are all God. We are all enough, just as we are, whether you choose to do or not to. And so when I hear you saying that you're working all day long on I am enough, what I hear your ego saying is, you're not working hard enough, Tammy, therefore you're not enough. That's bullshit. Stop it, Tammy. Stop it, Tammy. Stop it, Tammy. Stop it, Tammy. You are loved. You are loved. You are loved. I love you. I love you. I love you. We all love you, Tammy. You are perfect just as you are. Can we still work on it? Yes. Can we tap on it? Yes. Can we transmute it? Absolutely. Is it necessary? It'll help you feel better, so let's work on it, but in the kindest, gentlest, most loving fashion possible, because, man, I'm in a profanity mood right now. It is total and complete bullshit, this whole self-help movement that says that you're broken and that you need to be fixed. Bullshit, 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 bullshit. You're perfect just as you are. I feel like I'm going to cry right now. You are perfect just as you are. None of us are perfect, whatever that means. None of us are pretty. All of us poop. It always smells. None of us are meeting up to this imaginary standard, which is bullshit. We're human beings having the most amazing, messy, awful, ugly, incredible, beautiful, confusing, terrifying, awesome experience in the world, just as it's supposed to be, Tammy, just as it's supposed to be. And if we give ourselves permission to accept this, I went to the funny farm earlier today, Tammy. I had to go outside and go, I love myself even though I'm freaking out. I love myself. And I'm a teacher of this shit. But that's the human experience. If we, instead of beating on ourselves for having the human experience, allow ourselves, love ourselves for having the human experience, That is going to the upper room. That is transmuting energy. And that, dear God, is more than enough. But Tammy, if you feel like you get up in the morning, particularly right now, and you go, crap, and you put the covers back over your head, that is enough to love yourself up, even and especially for that. Thank you so much for sharing, Tammy. That was perhaps the most beautiful and important question we've gotten in the evening. You are enough, you are enough, you are enough, and you are perfect in your perfectly imperfect, beautiful, messy, awesome, incredible, terrifying, scary, depressed, anxious, loving, fearful, awesome way possible. I hope I didn't miss any of that. Love you, Tammy. Next question.
Okay, from Roz. How do we come out to family that are not as open to God, angels, and guides?
So, Roz, here's my thoughts on this. At any other time in the world, I would dance a little bit more delicately. But Roz, right now, I would go for it. Not to the point where you're trying to stuff it down somebody else's throats. That doesn't help anybody. Not in any way trying to convince anybody else to be like you. I don't have the exact numbers. I think it was something like 6,000 New Yorkers have passed away alone. And if you're in anywhere else in the world, I'm not making light of that. I'm just using this as a number. Something like 750 New Yorkers have passed away. I believe that means in the hospital from COVID-19, not counting people who have died in their homes, not counting, I just learned, people in nursing homes because they're not counting them as dying from coronavirus. 6,000 people. That is a holy crap number. I don't care what you say about flattening curves. I don't care what you say about this trend and that trend. There are a lot of people sick. There are a lot of people suffering. There are a lot of people going, what in the world? If ever there was a time where your family would cut you some slack from going spiritual, it's now. Because we have way past mile 20 in the marathon. Mile 20 is where all of a sudden, oh my God, Travis, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Mile 20 is where we are going and praying to God. We're praying to Jesus. We're praying to Allah. We're praying to anyone or anything, saying, God, help me get through this. And nobody is going to look at you as insane for going, God, help me get through this. What they're going to be saying is, I hope you're right. I really hope there is a God because I could use something to hold on to right now. I'm scared and terrified myself. Again, don't push it on anybody. It is none of our jobs. It's honestly none of our business what anybody else's belief system is, except that you can work to be the biggest tuning fork in the room, in the house, in the building. Resonate at the highest frequency that you can. With that said, oh my God, Travis, that is one hell of a cup of hot cocoa. How does it get any better than this? How does it get any better than this? Thank you, Travis. Thank you, Travis. Thank you, Travis. Woohoo! Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. Let's see who has the next question here. And okay, Tina, I can't resist. We'll come back to it, Tina, but let's make your ego your amigo. Make your ego your, I like that. That's a cool quote. Can you remember that, Bookster? Make your ego your amigo. Oh, she says, Tina wrote, your ego is not your amigo. And I thought, make your, oh my God, and Mary too. How does it get any better than this? How does it get any better than this? Woohoo! Thank you, Mary. So I love our egos. Our egos, to me, they're a kick. They're a hoot. They're hellishly difficult to try and manage, but we want to bring them in and incorporate our ego. So we'll come back to Tina. I know we have some other questions. I've got to shut off this heater now because I am literally on fire. I think I'm dreaming of the hot cocoa because that's hot cocoa from Travis and Marie or Mary has that's the perfect amount for some hot cocoa as well.
Okay, Lynn asks, Michael, can we do a love makeover on our ego until it works for us and it is our best friend? How fitting.
A love makeover.
Well, this question came in a long time ago. And now you're just talking about making the ego your amigo.
Not only can we do a love makeover, but I would like it if you could highlight that, and highlight. Yes, I would like that to be our next YouTube live. So we are not having a YouTube live this Tuesday because we have the boot camp. I'm sorry, I haven't figured out quite how to be two places at the same time. But I'm working on it. That's a limiting belief. Yes, it is. Can I do better? Yes, I can. Thank you for challenging me on it. So come join us for our $7 class all week. If you can't afford to do it, go to our contact form. I'm sure there's a scholarship available from some kind person, probably right here, that's going to help get you in. So come join us, because we won't have a YouTube live on it this week, but we will have a YouTube live on it on Saturday. And my guess is it's going to be making your ego your amigo, or specifically, what did she call it again?
Makeover.
Having an ego makeover. Your ego is your best, confused, dysfunctional, and overly ambitious, honest, and freaked out friend in the world. How's that for a combination? We get to love up our ego. We don't have to agree with her. We don't have to listen to her, but we get to love her up with everything that we've got. Because if not, you're in for war for your entire lifetime. Because I haven't met anybody. Not fair of me to say, but I don't believe I have met anybody who has successfully banished their ego. I am without ego. When somebody says they're without ego, I tend to turn and run as fast as I can the other direction. That has to do with also usually followed by the statement, I am enlightened. And I go, oh, crap, because that just means you're dangerous, dude. So make your ego your best friend. You don't have to agree with her or him. You don't have to take everything as truth. But you have to hear out the ego so that you can heal those inner wounds. I have an exercise. I teach it in automatic writing. I'll teach it anywhere I can if somebody's willing to listen. I call it the ego dump. What's the ego dump? Grab a notebook. Grab a composition notebook. Grab something you're not afraid to tear out sheets of paper. Are you kidding me? Q! I love you, man! How does it get any better than this? How does it get any better than this? Woohoo! And yes, Michael Guy James, if you want to get rid of the very gentle sniffles, that I don't even have sniffles, but they're coming out tonight, go for it, go for it, go for it. I absolutely give you permission. All right, with that said, pull out that sheet of paper. Do this first thing in the morning. Do this last thing in the middle of the night. Do this anytime your ego kicks up. And I want you to write out, just take 5 or 10 minutes. I want you to keep this as a limited time frame so that you're not giving away ego to your whole day. And only and always do this, or always and only do this, only when ego's kicking up. You're not trying to give ego a say if ego doesn't have anything in that moment to say. But I want you to do what I call an ego dump with a better out than in exercise. Write out whatever the ego has to share with you. Let her or him have their say. Why? Well, Michael, that's not law of attraction. What I think about, I bring about. And so if I say bad things about myself, I'm going to bring about. No. If you don't listen to the ego and the ego has something important to share with you, the body keeps the score. Shit's going down. Don't be the volcano. Let ego have his or her say. Controlled environment, safe environment. Write it all down, then pull out that sheet of paper, shred it or burn it. We had a forest fire out here a couple of years ago. We're hesitant with the burn it phrase. Shred it and be done with it. Does it mean it won't come back? No, it probably will. However, the ego and the subconscious don't know the difference between the written word and the actual emotion or event. So each time you shred it, you are getting much, much lighter. So if you have to do this every day, great. How does it get any better than this? If you don't have to do it, great. How does it get any better than this? But allow the ego to have her say. And then you can actually Learn from your ego. Wow, ego is actually really concerned about me making an income. Ego is really concerned about me putting myself out on the limb. Ego is really concerned about the amount of profanity, Michael, that you've used tonight, which, although compared to most isn't very much, is, holy shit, the most that you have ever used on air, ever, ever, ever. And you can go, does ego have a point? And snow globe it. Look at what ego has to say from all ego angles. See if there's some truth. See if there's something you can learn from it from a completely non-judgmental fashion. And then you can even take ego for a walk. Hand in hand, go to a park bench, even if only in your mind's eye, and say, ego, I'm going to do everything I can to take better care of you. I'm going to do everything I can to listen you to a completely new level. Ego, I am going to do everything in the world to take the best, greatest care of you that I can. And love up your ego and integrate your ego with everything you've got. We were meant to be whole, to be integrated, to be in coherence, not to be disintegrated, to be out of coherence, or to deny a part of ourselves. No, we get to heal that wounded, scared inner child and make her or him a very part of our beingness. They couldn't be separate. We couldn't separate them no matter how we tried. We certainly couldn't annihilate them, but we can tear ourselves apart trying to banish them. Instead, bring them in, be a team, and watch yourself rock this world. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant question. And Nadra, I have no idea what you just wrote because I'm going to be focused on the next question here. But that is like a record number of positive emoticons. So thank you. Okay, so it's a happy Easter and beautiful blessings bounding. I love you, Nadra. I love you, Nadra. I love you, Nadra. Even if it's Nadra, I still love you too.
Hey, this isn't a question, but it's funny.
Okay.
Francine writes, I am getting a kick out of Michael's profanity. It somehow makes me feel better as I'm trying to clean up my potty mouth.
Holy shit! This is not typical Michael Ease, but own yourself. Okay, I grew up, I can't really call it the hood, but I grew up north of Boston where the girls that I sat with, and yes, they were girls, that I sat with for junior or senior year high school, I counted one day, and the F-bomb was one out of every 3 words. And they rocked their vocabulary. So yes, let's go to the highest vibrating vocabulary we've got, but own your true authentic self, unabashedly, perfectly, truly, just as you are.
Okay, a question from 510 Overturned.
Ooh.
Is it possible to transmute COVID-19 into the state of love? From Quentin.
So Quentin, I have been thinking about this question quite a bit. Is it possible to transmute COVID-19 into a state of love or into perfect love? I hate that I'm going to actually say this, Quentin. What if COVID-19 is love? What if everything is spirit and if everything is the divine and it is part of the divine, Quentin, sent here as an angel, as a messenger, here to shift consciousness? On one level, that sounds horrific, and I can't make light of it. We're worried about Jessica's parents. We're worried about my parents. We're worried about your parents. We are not making light of this on any level. However, as a species, we have been not going with the flow. We've been going out of flow, out of coherence. We've been acting like the messenger. We've been acting like a virus. And so it may be that it took an angel in the form of a virus to wake us up, to help us go over this bridge, as Paul Selig and his guides were talking about in a show a couple of days ago, and I can't recommend it enough. When we are bridging a chasm, when we are going across a river, not everybody will make it across to the higher banks. But I've had 2 near-death experiences. I believe with every ounce of anything that I have, that we're spiritual beings having a human existence, that this isn't all that there is, that there was life before life, that there's life after life, and we each came here for a specific journey, for a specific mission, for specific lessons. And so it may be that everybody who is transitioning what appears to be early to us are actually the angels helping to wake us up along with COVID-19. Now, do I believe in sending COVID-19 love? Heck yeah. Do I believe in sending it even more love? Heck yeah. Do I believe in sending it every bit of love and light that we possibly have to end this now, immediately, or even sooner? Oh, heck, mother freaking yeah. At the same time, if we realize it is all God, it is all universe, it is all one, non-duality, yes. It is all one, then we realize the perfect divinity even in COVID-19. But where I differ from saying it's non-duality, just it is as it is, I believe it is as it is, and let's do what we can to end the sucker fast. And that's where, how can we crank up our energy? How can we change our vibration? How can we make different decisions? How can we help people? How can we contribute? How can we make a difference? Because this goes back to Michael, Law of Attraction 101. And I'm a huge Law of Attraction guy, and it works for us, but very differently than it works for the majority of people. I'm not a sit on the couch kind of guy. It's one thing to have a warm and fuzzy. You go, I send love, I send love, I send love, which is doing. But now let's actually put action behind that. That's what I'm talking about, Quentin. So that, I think, is the second most, if not most brilliant question tonight. And how does it get any better than this? And that's a choice we can each make.
This isn't a question. Well, yes, it is. Randy says, let us pray for those passing over alone. May our loving energy assist their transition. So I took it as perhaps something that you could include during that group intention meditation.
So Brandy, I am A, going to include that during the group intention meditation, and B, I had an interview. This doesn't make light of it. Please don't think I'm making light of this. I had an interview with Dr. Christopher Kerr last week, who is the head of Hospice Buffalo. And we were talking about this, and it was fascinating. And then actually hearing Andrew Cuomo was fascinating as well, if that's the younger brother Cuomo's name, which is, yeah, it has to be, because it's what, Mario? Yes.
I don't watch enough news.
And neither do I. However, with that said, there appears to be a natural mechanism when people pass on, where they are surrounded by loved ones, they are surrounded by angels, they are surrounded by the very people that they need as kids, it's surrounded by animals that have passed on in their lives, so that no one, Chris is the younger one. Thank you, Anna. So Chris is the younger one. So that no one feels alone when they transition, because he has studied, I think it's now 1,800 studied, put on camera 1,800 individuals who have transitioned to the other side, and the process they go through, and who visits them, and what they experience, which they say is not visions, is not dreams, is more real than real. And what it appears to me, and we had this discussion, is that as the fever goes high, people start to come and visit you. So for Chris Cuomo, he had his father, he told to, I guess it's Andrew Cuomo, if I have these names right, please forgive me, everybody. Younger brother told older brother that Pops came to visit the night before, along with many other loved ones. And so I am convinced nobody dies alone. Now, it could be, if it is hit by a car, that may be a different story. And we know many people who help people transition to the other side, who have been shocked out of their body in an instant experience. This is not what we're talking about. I will certainly have us do a prayer tonight as part of our group intention setting meditation for everyone who is alone in the halls, who is alone when they're suffering. I cannot express enough, because I have spent cumulatives, months and months and months in a hospital and alone in a hospital, how scary and how terrifying and how bad that feels. But I am convinced as somebody grows closer to transitioning to the other side, they are not alone. So, all right, we will go there tonight. We will absolutely go there in a little bit. The questions are still coming in. So as long as your questions are coming in, I'm on fire tonight versus last night when I was just completely exhausted. So we're just going to keep going for a little bit. If the Pookie still has the energy. How's the Pookster doing?
I'm fine. Okay.
Chill.
Third Coast writes, Michael, how do we discover our animal spirits or guides and connect with messages from them?
I love this. And that, what was that, Andrew? Or I'm getting Third Coast. Third Coast. How do we connect with our animal spirit guides and get in touch with them? So one way, very simply, is to go into a process like automatic writing and call in your animal spirit guides. And if you haven't taken our class, automaticwriting.com is a great place to find out about that. But that's just one of infinite number of ways. A second way is before you go to sleep at night. Each evening, say a prayer and say, angels, guides, light workers, or animal spirit guide, please show yourself to me tonight. Please help me to see you. Please make yourself readily apparent to me. Now, Carl Jung talks about, in his days of psychology, the dream world being the waking world being the dream world. What does that mean? It means we are continuously bombarded with signs and symbols from the universe. So you could literally go out of the house or your apartment tomorrow. I've seen a peregrine falcon in New York City. You could literally go out of your house tomorrow. We saw a prehistoric dinosaur of a tortoise cross the road in front of us from one time. Do you remember that tortoise?
Yes. It had like a Fu Manchu goatee made out of moss.
The thing had to be 1 million years old if it was a day, and it stopped traffic for miles around. So call in when you leave your house for your animal spirit to make itself apparent to you. And quite literally, we had many months ago at this point, we were doing a sales video on our automatic writing course. And here comes Mountain Lion, literally on camera, like on cue, out of the woods from behind us before tromping off. And then I went into automatic writing and connected with him. His name is Maximilian. Jessica got me the most amazing little Native American mountain lion fetish in Sedona to represent him and to hold space wherever I am. You can also look up shamanic drumming on YouTube or shamanic journeying and go into an underworld experience. We have shamanic journeying. You can look it up with our Inspire Nation show. Go into an underworld experience, go down into that underworld. This doesn't mean going to hell. This means going into like a hole beneath a tree and going into the spirit realm underneath us. It's kind of a 3D representation. It's really going on the inside. And call in your spirit guide. Call in your spirit animal. We all have spirit animals. And with that said, I can hear maybe part of Pookie's voice saying, or you could literally just go to Colette Baron Reed or anybody else's animal spirit oracle cards and literally pick a card and see who is your spirit animal today, realizing that A, it changes. B, you have some that are probably with you for a lifetime or lifetimes. You have others that come in and out, but it is not just one. I know I've got bear spirit, I've got tortoise spirit, I've got deer spirit. Oh my God, do I have deer spirit? I have mouse spirit. I have a vole spirit. I have squirrel spirit. I have mountain lion spirit. We have raccoon spirit. We have hummingbird spirit, and on it goes. For ourselves, oh my God, I saw somebody say snake. We have snake spirit, snake spirit, snake spirit. Specifically, we have rattlesnake spirit, who really showed herself to us when we were living in New Jersey and on the New York border. It was so cool. Rattlesnakes in Kundalini embrace in front of us, rattlesnake climbing up tree and then climbing down and looking at us to communicate with us. Call in your spirit animals. They are all here to serve you. Michael Guy James, no sniffles now. So if whatever you did may have worked. Thank you. I will say Michael Guy James.
That's because you passed the sniffles on to me.
Oh, jeez. For the record, it is always my fault. And I do take credit for this, and I do deserve this.
Next question from Sue. Do you believe when we raise higher consciousness that we will die because it's a lower vibration? Do you believe when we raise higher consciousness that it will die because it's a lower vibration? I think the question is, if we reach the higher level of vibration, if we go to the upper room, does that mean we're actually leaving this physical 4D realm?
So you had, it's a brilliant question. And you, Pookie, and we're so many beautiful questions, and I'm like winding up the mic here. We had this discussion a day or two ago, and I can only give you my take on it. And I don't pretend that I have the answer. It's interesting. It's called Ask Michael Anything, and I don't pretend to have any of the answers. In fact, if some teacher tells you they have all the answers, again, run. That's my opinion.
Paul Selig's guides say no, that's not the case.
And I'm going with what Paul Selig guides say. And not just because you said that. I believe that there are many, many levels and many energetic states between here and poof, gone. So I believe Jesus was ascendant spiritual master. Mother Mary was an ascendant spiritual Mary Magdalene, ascendant. Allah, ascendant. The Buddha, ascendant. All of these masters were still here in physical form. Now, maybe they could have chosen in the blink of an eye to have disappeared, but they were certainly vibrating. Jesus could walk across water, man. That was not obeying the 3D rules, and yet was still here. So how far do you have to go into that upper room before you go poof? I don't know. Now, I will say this. I love the work by Ervin Laszlo. I have his latest book, which is coming out this summer on Akashic Fields. We had him on the show just a couple weeks ago. He talks about a bifurcation, a split in humanity between going to the lower room and the upper room. And he and I both agree going to the upper room is an energetic state change. It is going from one level, if you remember high school physics or chemistry, one level of the electron to the next level. But it doesn't mean that the electron disappears. It's simply vibrating at a higher level. That's how I see things taking place. Are we more connected to spirit and source? Yes. Are we more coming from a place of love? Yes. Are we more balanced head and heart? Yes. Does it mean that we float around out of our bodies and we leave our bodies behind? I'm not buying it yet, because I don't believe the body is a bad thing. I don't believe we came here incarnate in physicality to leave our bodies. That's called death. We're going to get that one way or the other. It's inevitable. None of us get out of here alive. But let's use the body while we're here. It's our teacher. We've got this so backwards and confused. That's why I'm not saying fear is a bad thing. Fear is an inherent wiring in the system at this level of vibration to teach us, to show us separation, to help us feel more distance from source, from creation, from love, so that we can learn about love, creation, source, spirit at an even higher level. Everything here to serve us. If we said, poof, gone, then how are we learning in this earth school? That's called death, dying, and going back home. And no, I don't pretend to know if there are an infinite number of steps in between. My guess is yes. That's the crazy, wonderful ladder of a journey that we're each on. Brilliant, brilliant question.
A lot of good questions tonight.
I'm loving this.
Okay, from William Tell. Didn't we all make soul agreements before this incarnation?
Here's my opinion on this, William Tell. Heck yeah, heck yeah, heck yeah, heck yeah, heck yeah. And Pookie, are you going for something to drink for the two of us?
I'm going for this.
Ah, okay. Oh, I did pass it on to you then. I've had two past life regression sessions. I think both with students who studied under Dolores Cannon. Certainly the first one did. And she's one of the originators behind past life regression therapy. I don't know, a better way to put it. And I have in theory, actually seen the experience of me meeting before a council of elders and making a decision as to what I wanted for this next lifetime. I know of countless people who have had near-death experiences who have recounted going before a council of elders, both as far as the decisions that they made for this lifetime and a life review. Do I believe that this is an earth school? Absolutely. Do I believe that we know approximately how we're going to check out or what that looks like? Absolutely. Is it a given? No, I don't believe it's a given. But I do think we signed up for specific lessons for our highest good and the highest good of all. I have literally gone into this past life regression hypnotherapy and renegotiated my contract. What does that mean? It means we each came here with a learning contract for things that we hope to learn, to gain, to grow, which is why when I see people passing on right now on one level, it's incredibly sad, and I don't want to see suffering. And if I lose a loved one, I am going to be bawling like a baby, period. Grief is grief. I don't care where you are in the ladder. Oh, I'm enlightened this, and it doesn't bother me if a loved one passes on. I don't buy it. But that's my opinion, and my opinion is not necessarily right. However, I will say that if they're checking out, that there was a reason, that it was their time, and that there's something special coming for them. And I realize that they're partying on the other side. So my renegotiation went like this. From my past life regression, I'm here in front of a council of elders, and I'm an old spirit. What does that mean? We're all infinite. So who knows what old spirit really means? But I said, I want to learn as much as I can in this lifetime. So elders, give me the works. Kind, gentle, easy, good. Kind, gentle, easy, good. I'll get there in a second. I said, I'm not saying it now, give me the works. And the elders said, you can't handle the works. And me, because you can tell kind of how I would be, I'm like, I can handle it. I can handle anything. Holy shit, careful what you ask for. By the time I was, 35, 40 years of age, I had a spreadsheet because I look at patterns. And it's one of the things I do with my coaching clients is I'm continuously looking at our patterns to see what we can learn from them. And I am seeing injury after injury, after hospitalization, after broken bone, after near death, after this, until you're going, are you kidding me? Dude, you asked for too much. Which is my mantra now is kind, gentle, easy, good. Kind, gentle, easy, good. Kind, gentle, easy, good. May I have all of the lessons, angels, spirits, guide, in the kindest, in the gentlest, in the easiest way possible for my highest good and the highest good of all. I am listening. Please give it to me easy. And for the most part, they stopped because I have chosen to be more awake and aware and to listen. So if I stub a toe, I stop cold. If I start to trip, even if I don't fall, I stop cold. I listen because I had too much chutzpah, too much ego, too much whatever you want to call it that I brought to the game. And I was brought down to my knees. Now, did I learn a lot out of it? Yes. Did it all help to serve me? Yes. Is everything here to serve us? Yes. This is why I don't look at COVID-19 in the same way as most. I've been basically without a home. I have been lived a summer on dog food. I lived a year with no hot water and no heat in my house. Well, I learned that if you open the oven, I did have electricity, I think it was. If you open the oven and ran a fan, it had to circulate or else you started warping things on your oven and elsewhere. But I ran a fan, I could get some heat so that the pipes wouldn't burst. I have had some challenging experiences in life that people are going through now. And I truly believe that if we view them as positives in disguise, even in painful suffering, sucky, wucky, awful, I wouldn't wish it on anyone, disguises. But if you can choose to see it that way, then something beautiful can come out of it. If you choose to see it the opposite way, then something really terrible can come out of it as well. But I have seen too much, maybe from all of these bones and experiences and stuff to know that there is much more going on here than could ever meet the eye.
Okay, next question from, how do you say that?
Allez-vous?
Okay, French, great. If you have a dream and see a face so clearly and you don't know this person or never even seen them before, could it be a spirit guide showing themselves?
Absolutely, allez-vous. And I'm giving you a French name. It may be something completely different.
Do you need to repeat the question because it's
sure.
mic away from me?
I did it again.
Yes, you did it.
I thought I waited until you were finished.
You're just a mic hog.
Oh my God.
Which is great because I'm an introvert, so I don't.
All right, but now I have the mic back in your direction. So let us have you repeat it.
If you have a dream and see a face so clearly and you don't know this person or never seen them before, could it be a spirit guide showing themselves?
And allez-vous, I think it could be one of several things. A, it could be a spirit guide showing itself. B, it could be somebody else who is on our team that maybe we don't call a guide, although maybe it's a semantic, that is showing themselves. Or it could be somebody who we are destined to meet in this lifetime. I'm convinced I saw the Pookie way before I saw the Pookie. So it could be somebody that you are destined to meet in this lifetime or do a dance with, or there's still a chance that it could be somebody who you've seen lifetime after lifetime who you will be meeting again once you get back home. So what I would do if I saw a face is I would go into what their features are. I can't draw, limiting belief, but my stick figures might be a bit rough. I would write out what I saw. I would ask, who is this? What can I learn from this person? Why are they here? And I would put that question out there in many different ways and see what comes back to you and ask if that person can come visit you again. Brilliant, brilliant question. The Pookie has one heck of an ear-to-ear grin right now. She is definitely chuckling on the inside. And so I want to know, what are you chuckling about?
It's funny because I've never had anyone call me this. It's very endearing. Michael Guy James said, Pook, would you like me to get rid of your sniffles?
I like it. Hey, Pook. Michael, you rock. No, I'm calling you Pook, not Puke.
Yes, I'd love that. Okay, next question.
Yes.
Thank you, Michael.
Next question. Michael, so let me put this back. It's getting really confusing over here.
Okay. Next question from Anna Maria. Michael, what specifically became clear to you after your near-death experiences?
Anna Maria, there were 3 key accidents in my life and 3 key accidents in my adult life. And so I want to see if I can be very clear about each one of these. Near-death experience number 1 was on one level, you could call it a dying of the ego. It was a death of the just Michael story, although that came back with a vengeance too. But it was realizing that there was something much greater than myself and that I got to serve at a higher level. B, there was a lot more respect and a lot less martyring about myself after that experience. But there was an upgrade, a shift, a dying of the old. I went back to the tree next to where this happened, and it was an inline skating accident now 14 years ago as of last week. Wow. Now the sniffles are back with me. So, excuse me. I went back for the next 7 years and I put my hand on this tree and I gave thanks because as far as I could tell, the old me had died and a new, upgraded, more plugged into the meaning of all of us was there. My memories were still there from before, but they were all very fuzzy. My desire to, I tried bike racing again. What was it, 2-3 years ago? It didn't go very well. My desire to beat anyone or to have that competitive nature just evaporated, eviscerated. It was out of alignment. Not that there's anything wrong with competition. It can be a very powerful positive fuel. So without judgment. But that aspect of me had died, and the aspect of, I'm going to call it from a me to a we. That's the simplest way to put it. NDE number 1 was from a me to a we. NDE number 2 was basically how I call near-death experiences. And I had on a near-death experience expert years ago. I had her on twice. Such a spark plug of a lady. She researched more NDEs than anybody else. Do you recall her name, Pookster?
It's not coming to me.
It may come to us. And what she said is one of the factors of how you know that it's a near-death experience is that it is so difficult to live at the level of what you experienced. Or to put it another way, integration's a bitch. You know all of this stuff that maybe you're not supposed to know, or not supposed to know yet. You get the big picture, whatever that means, but you still can't live it, at least for most of us. We still have blood going through our veins. We still have our nervous system. We still have our fight or flight response. And so our nervous system is still our nervous system, and yet we're like, oh, it's all love, it's all kumbaya, we're all one. But you can't stay or live in that state, and it becomes you butting your head against everything around you that doesn't make sense. And so I went back into a fear-driven place over a period of about 7 years, this downward slide into perverting everything that I had learned from NDE number 1 into a I must slay the dragons, be the hero, be the martyr. And I perverted a beautiful experience until the universe said, all right, Michael, it's okay. We got you covered. We got the 2x4. Whap! And gave me NDE number 2. I could have seen it coming. There were more than enough warning signs to slow me down and put me back on the straight and narrow, whatever that means. However, I believe it happened for a reason. I believe that it was the most perfect, beautiful gift in the world. Oh, thank you, Pookie. She brought me some tea. Because after NDE number 1, I had a titanium femur in my left leg. I had a titanium pin through my left hip. So basically titanium femur, titanium hip, 2 metal hooky loopy things to hold it all together, and an inch leg length discrepancy. After NDE number 2, I had a titanium femur in my right leg, a titanium pin through my right hip, and 2 metal loopy hooky thingies holding it together. Identical, no more leg length discrepancy. So identical from one side to the other that it actually fooled the doctor on X-ray. In other words, the universe broke me identically to make me symmetrical and say, you ain't in charge. This happened for a reason. Yes, you're now a human dowsing rod. But I want you to remember with each step that you take that it wasn't about you. And that everything happens for a reason. So that was NDE number 2. You would think I had everything together at that point. However, we had thousands of dollars of bills that we're working on. We had a business that was tanking, in part because of this experience. We had so many things that felt completely and totally out of control. And guess what? I was still trying to drive the ship, head over heart. Now, if you know anything about heart coherence, it's something we talk a lot about. The head doesn't have the magnetic signature or imprint or field, better way to put it, than the heart does. The heart has the better field, bigger field. If you try to drive from the head, you're going to get hurt. And in my case, that was quite literally because I was still living a fear-based existence, something that I now teach about. In fact, that's what we started on tonight. And so after we made this beautiful year-long, supposed to be a month-long, program called Mindful Running that was supposed to set us free, instead drove Pook into the ground because Pook had to do all the editing for everything, and Pook did want to puke, and on a regular basis. Universe took me out one more time. We had, I think, one more video to shoot, one last day for our mindful running program. It's a beautiful program, mindfulrunning.org. And I'm on my bicycle. I'm healing from NDE number 2. I'm back able to pedal, not as strong as before, but I'm out on a beautiful bike ride and I'm going through what we're going to be filming. And I get to like a turn or two before the house on the side of the volcano Haleakala in Maui. And former professional cyclist, raced in Europe. I got downhills dialed, I got turns dialed, but somehow the front wheel is suddenly floating in the air. Up and up it goes. And then, whoop, bam! And down so fast, cracked helmet, left me with a concussion, cracked all of the ribs in front of my heart, all of the ribs behind my heart, my shoulder, my collarbone, my scapula, my clavicle, everything broken around the heart. And I got it. Drop down into heart. Let go of mind. The mind is the bus driver, but the mind has no flipping clue where it wants to go. You have to listen to your heart, Michael. I started going to automatic writing. I started going to a much more humbler, deeper place of, not a deeper place of knowing. I went to a deeper place of not knowing. That's why please don't take anything I say here tonight as the gospel. There is no such thing coming out of it, me, or maybe from any other man or woman for that matter. Although I certainly trust a woman more than a man as a general rule. But I got to a place of, I don't know. It's maybe not even mine to know, but I am not going to try to drive the ship. Not my job. I am not going to let this fear-based thing up here have charge anymore. I surrender. I surrender. I surrender. I will go to the heart. I will let this drive. I will let the Pookie drive. I will let universe drive, but I won't try to drive the ship. I see Q saying Michael needs to have a pattern interrupt. Well, hopefully it was I got the pattern interrupt. And I am very, very respectful now that I go into my automatic writing each and every day. And I go angel, spirits, guide, Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Gabriel, Mother Earth, Mother Mary, Mother Nature, Jesus, Buddha, Allah, and on it goes. What do I need to know so that I don't try to drive the ship? I'm here to learn. I'm here to grow. I am here to teach whatever humble stuff comes through me. But I am not here in charge. And I like to say, and I truly believe that COVID-19 is a global NDE. What we choose to make of it is our choice. But it is a global wake-up call that we are not in charge and that there's something much more beautiful going on behind the scenes if we will choose it, if we will look for it. I read the most beautiful and upsetting article a couple of days ago. Beautiful. Skies are clearing, waters are getting cleaner, things are going back in ways to hundreds of years ago. They're talking about in China and India and Cambodia, saying that there's alpine air. It's so clean and clear. And then there are first reports about parts of China that have started back up their, quote, economic engine, where you can't see the sky again anymore, where the pollution is coming back. And that's heartbreaking because I'm going, did you just poke me?
You can make one.
No, there's a point. I'll bring it back. The point being, that we get to surrender to the something greater and use this experience as a wake-up call. That's the huge positive, not to go back to the old patterns of the mind, but to surrender into the something greater. So the Pookie poked me, and when the Pook pokes, it means she's right and I'm wrong. So let's go on to the next question here.
Okay, from Francine. Do we need to have an NDE to have such clarity or realizations? I would like to achieve this without an NDE.
I was just turning the mic away from you. Did you want to finish that with the mic there?
I would like to achieve this without an NDE.
You don't need the NDE. If you're awake and aware, you do not need NDEs. Period. That's my guess. Could be wrong. But if we are awake and aware and we plug into source and spirit every day, if we take the lessons even here today and find out how to get to the upper room, how to stay in a higher level of consciousness, how to stay at a higher vibrational state, then we are awake, then we are aware, then we are listening, and we will make different decisions. So no, we don't need another 2x4. That's why my expression, kind, gentle, easy, good. Kind, gentle, easy, good. If we stay in that higher room, we can have the learnings, my belief, in a different way. And I prefer that different way because I'm not too keen on pain, on suffering, on misery. Do I think we can learn on the couch? I'm not convinced of that. But if we're on the edge of the seat on our couch, constantly learning, plugging in, and being willing to listen to universe, then universe is going to spin one heck of a yarn for us, and without the cosmic 2x4. I'm going to take a sip while. So can you hold this for the next question so I can actually take a sip? Thank you. Thank you.
From Sarah, how do I overcome apathy? This feels like my recurring pattern or lesson, this time 4 weeks into lockdown.
How do I put this, Sarah? You're not apathetic. You're bored. I get it. What we need to find you is what lights you up. It's probable. Now, it might be something that lights you up outside of the home, and that's really challenging right now. So I'm not trying to make light of it. But what I am saying is when people come to me and they say they're apathetic, what I really hear is a wounded inner child that says, I'm not allowed to do what I love to do. That's what I hear. I'm not allowed to do what I love to do. And so I want to challenge you to allow yourself to do again what you love to do. Now, it may not be easy in the home right now. Oh my God, we're some of the luckiest people in the world. Our lives haven't changed that much radically since this time period started. However, we can still feel the boredness, the numbness, the trappedness, the I don't know what to do to feel good. So we get to get really, really creative during this time and then start dreaming about what is it that will light me up once I get to come out of this cocoon. And again, we're talking about true authentic self. We're talking about unabashedly, unembarrassingly being yourself. I've literally coached strippers. If it's being a stripper, be a stripper. If it's being a painter, be a painter. If it's being a ultra marathon runner, be that. If it's having a child, be that. Whatever it is, be that which calls your heart without shame or embarrassment. One of the greatest, most brilliant questions that I ever heard from anybody ever on the show, Don Miguel Ruiz, he talks about the government of your mind. And he says 3 simple words. 3 powerful words that I like to use all the time. Whose is this? Whose is this? We have a government in our mind that says what we can do, what we can't do, what we're allowed to do, what we're not allowed to do, what we're told is okay to bring us joy, what we're told is not okay to bring us joy. We're told growing up we're not even allowed to touch our own bodies. Come on, give me a break, man. Whose is this? we get to choose for ourselves what brings us the greatest joy. You and I each came here with a gift or gifts wrapped around our hearts from God, from source, from universe, from someplace greater than ourselves. That's why I was talking with Q earlier about we have to follow that pull. We have to follow that attraction. We have to follow that golden string that's tugging at our heart. That did not come from you. We each came here, experiences aside, because experiences can't change things. We came here knowing whether we liked chocolate or vanilla, and it didn't come from us. Follow your chocolate, follow your vanilla, follow whatever lights you up. Geez, I can't believe I'm going there. But screw the noise of whomever told you you can't do that. I'd say you have to do that. And if not, you get the reset button on life. Don't worry, you get another chance to get it, quote, right. There is no right and wrong, but you get a chance to actually unapologetically be yourself again. That's why I believe we're infinite beings having a human experience. But why not enjoy the experience this time? You got a gift wrapped around your heart. Use it, use it, use it, use it, use it. Woohoo. I need to drink a little more.
Have you heard of Seth Speaks?
I have, but I haven't read the book. And I don't know much of what Seth says. So if I understand it right, Seth speaks through his mother, who I believe is a doctor, and he passed away or committed suicide, and his mom now channels him. If I have that right, and I may not, but I don't know the story, so I don't really know enough to speak about it.
I'm not sure. Anyway, Nietzsche was asking what you think of Seth Speaks, but since you don't know for sure, then you don't have an opinion.
I don't.
Okay.
But I'm going to say Seth Speaks, my guess, knowing absolutely nothing, is probably coming from love. And that's the best thing in the world.
Okay.
I believe love is all there is.
I think we're good on questions.
Wow, wow, wow. And look at what Nidra just gave us. How many unicorns and horses and lizards and lizards would fly, dragonflies and hearts and swans. Oh, yay. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Upward spiral at Michelle. Exactly. No, that's Eric. Okay, then I don't know Seth Speaks. Yes, all birds swoop at her. All right, so we're going to do a meditation here in a minute. But first I'm going to ask if the Pookster, known as Pook tonight, has anything. I'm not putting you on the spot. You don't have to say anything. But is there anything you want to share, ask about, or anything? This has gone for a long time, so you might be like, and she says no. But if I was to paraphrase, she would say that kitties have it going on, and making kitty beds is one of the truly most joyous experiences you have ever had in your life. Or more specifically, seeing the kitties enjoying their beds.
Yes.
As soon as you're done making them. So I like it.
Boot camp.
Boot camp. All right. Yes, we have boot camp. So to be continued tomorrow night through next Friday night. Come join us. Oh my God, are we going to have fun? There will be over the top beautiful energy, but there will also be some calming energy. We are going to do Eft tapping, a clinically proven technique studied by NIH for PTSD, for stress, for anxiety. We are going to be tapping on different acupressure points and coming together as a group to help you transmute fear, to help you transmit negativity, to help you transmit over all of this overwhelm of energy into something incredibly positive right now. We held our last boot camp just a couple weeks ago. I'm sure we have some boot campers in here who can tell you how great it was. It was really, really special. There is an energy of us all coming together as a group. We're going to have group meditations, group intention setting meditations. We are not just going to clear away negatives, which is what you get with most tapping experiences, but I do a lot of fun subconscious meddling, teaching you how to do this so that you can rewire for the positive. And I believe we are all alchemists. We all came here to learn how to play with energy, which actually we're really good with on the other side, but we get to learn how to play with it, energy incarnate in our physical beingness, so that we can turn all of this apparent negativity into something much, much more positive. And we're going to learn how to do that Monday through Friday of this week. What time will it be? It will be at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, 5:30 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, Central will be at 6:30. Mountain will be at 7:30. Pacific at 8:30. And again, Eastern at 5:30. We won't be having a YouTube live through Monday through Friday. We will next Saturday because we'll be having class. It's only $7. It's recorded. If you make only one class, catch all of the other 4 on a recording. It's only $7. If you make all classes, it's only $7. If you sign up and find you can't make it, you get the recordings. It's only $7. If you take all 5 classes, it's $7. If you can't afford to do it, then it's not just only $7. We have many people who are donating a spot for you to come join, and we're matching the seats that they buy. So chances are there's a scholarship spot available with your name on it. If you've learned one thing from tonight, it's the word unabashedly, meaning without shame or embarrassment. Reach out, inspirenationshow.com/contact. Say, Michael, Jessica, Pook. Do you like Pook? I'm calling you Pook a lot tonight. Pook, I don't have...
Pook Star.
I love Pook Star. Pook Star, I don't have the money at this point to attend. And we'll go, great, that's awesome. Let's get you in. No judgment, no shame. There's no such thing. Let's just go to positive energy. Excuse me. You see, I'm very selfish. I want to change the world. That's all. Why? I'll feel better. Bookstar will feel better. Our future kids, when they're on their way, they will feel better as well. How do I do that? By helping you feel better and you helping somebody else feel better. And they help somebody else feel better. And we pay it forward and pay it forward and pay it forward. So come join us. It will be life transformative. That's a guarantee. And you will have an amazing experience and have such a crew of like-minded friends helping challenge you to bring out all that you have inside of you. It's on Zoom. You can show yourself if you want. You can hide yourself if you want. You can speak if you want and ask questions live. You can send in your questions if you prefer as well. But we will come together as a group and as a family and learn and grow and have fun together. And there'll be a little bit of dancing. There'll be a lot of bit of woohoo. Probably not so much crying, but if the Pook Star gets going, she will probably have me cracking up at least once or twice or more with her lobster claws, but that's a story for another day. So come join us. And I believe the Pook Star has put down the link here for people to sign up. Do you have the link? I see you have the contact link. Do you have the sign up link there as well?
Yeah, I did.
So come join us. We would love to have you there. So Michael James, yes, the sniffle came back, but it's all good. Inspire Nation daycare classes one day. Now that would be cool.
Like for children?
Something for kids. I know this. If there's one thing that I know, Lynn Maxwell, it is that there is no end to the children's books and children's stories that are in the Pook Star just waiting to come out. And we are very hopeful. We are, I hope it's okay that I'm sharing this. We are pausing. We had 2 miscarriages last year. It's all okay. It was part of our journey. We have paused on calling in the Inspire Nation babies into our lives temporarily.
No, you paused. I didn't pause.
Ooh. Okay, that's a discussion for another evening. But the provider has determined that he doesn't feel the hospitals are...
The provider?
I'm in big trouble here, folks. Go for it, Pook Star. You've got a lot to say.
Since when did you become the provider?
What I mean by that.
I mean, hey, if you want to be the provider, I'll kick back. I'll be the housewife.
What I mean by that specifically is that I believe that there is some gene, this is my excuse, I'm sticking to it, that the rutting bull has that says he wants to make sure that things are safe before he calls in baby. And I am coming from a loving, kind, and gentle place. And on one level, know that everything is perfectly safe. On another level, I don't want to dance with the hospitals yet.
Where's that coming from?
Ooh.
The small self or the divine self?
And the answer has to be that this is coming from the small self, that the higher self will only bring in baby at the right time for our highest good and the highest good of all.
Does baby have a say in this?
Well, I'm putting baby in the higher self, highest good category, because baby is on the other side. Baby has the ultimate say in this. If baby doesn't want to come in yet, it's not going to be, oh God, no!
You don't have anything to worry about.
When you put it, are you having fun right now? Are you having fun with this? Can you hold the microphone, because I gotta take care of this nipple again. There's no getting away with anything with her. Anything else you want to add, Poop Star? Because I am.
Lynn says, "Don't fight in front of the kids."
Very.
Well, I don't know. I think it's okay to argue in front of the kids, as long as you also know how to resolve the argument and make up, so that the kids also learn how to. Why? What?
It's all Lynn's fault. Travis is going quick. The meditation. Oh my God. All righty. Well, I am going to have a sip here. I'm going to see if there's a sneeze that gets to come out. And then we are going to dive.
Michelle says, we're making you sweat.
Yes, I am. My face is, and this shirt is coming out red on the screen here. I think it's because of the blue black filter, but I have clearly matched the color of my shirt at the moment. Oh, wow. All right. Anything else you need? Because I need to have a drink. Is there anything you want to share while I have this beautiful, glorious drink?
Says, "Here comes the 2x4.
No.
Wait, am I wielding the 2x4?
You wielded the rock before.
Or is the baby the 2x4?
No. I am listening, William. I am listening. I am listening. I think my cheeks are hurting from smiling so much. Yes, okay, drink.
Michael must compose himself before the meditation.
I have no idea where we're going on the meditation now. If ever there was a no idea where I'm going, it is now. But that is okay. All right.
Will he be able to center?
Yes. Well, I'm certainly coming from a place of love. And I think, see, you have the ability in a nanosecond to cut through the quick and bring me to my knees. In essence, oh, you think you're all high and mighty there behind the mic. Whatcha! And down at the knees I go. Like that. Can't get away with anything. And if anybody's wondering, yes, she is a Scorpio. I have no idea where I'm going with a meditation now. All right.
Well, there was a request earlier.
Well, yes, we definitely get to go to people who are transitioning, who are potentially feeling alone. And that's interesting. I have a vision. So I'm going to see what we can do to play with this vision. You look like you want to say something. I know you want to say something.
No, I'm enjoying the banter in the chat room.
What she is really saying is, I enjoy all the support I am getting from everybody out there. That's what you're saying. Is I've been telling him, but he hasn't been listening. Thank you, everyone. That's what you're saying, isn't it? You're going to bring over Sir Meowsers before we do our meditation? All right. I think I can't even speak now.
My job is done.
All right, everybody. This is going to be the most interesting, I'm going to call this abbrevious. I don't think that's a word. Somewhere between egregious and abbreviated, abbrevious meditation out there. I'm a, what would you call it? A waxing Virgo. Technically, I'm a Virgo, but I'm more of a Leo. But I'm just a few days into my Virgo-ness, and I don't think I ever fully learned how to develop my organized Virgo skills. What do you think, Bookster? No, I'm Leo. All right, and lots of Scorpios in the house here. All right, here we go. So love you guys so much. Come join us tomorrow night. We will call this a to be continued. Is this the kind of banter that we have during the week? When the Pookie gets going, when the Pookstar gets going, yes. And she has pulled out her pinchers. More than a time or two in the classes, at which point everybody falls off of their seat. You look like you might have one last thing to say. Is there one last thing to say before I dive in? I'm procrastinating because I have no idea where I'm going on the meditation. None at all. You have just zapped the meditation right out of this guy.
Just plug in.
Okay, I'm going to do that. I'm going to plug in. All right. I love you guys so much. And hope to see so many of you here tomorrow night. And again, no excuses. If you can't afford to come anyway. That's how we roll. Thanks to That's How You Roll, because so many people have been so kind and generous. It's all family. We have one last thing that I'm going to mention. So I believe I channel. What does that mean? It means whenever I say there's one last thing, universe always laughs at me and gives me one more thing. But we subscribe to a rule ever since Maui, and we call it Ohana Rules. And Ohana Rules means that we are family. We are one. And we will do anything we can, because you're here tonight. That means you're family. You are attracted to us. We're soul group. We're one. We all came together. We all felt like coming together, and we will do anything we can to help you. So now that I got the Ohana Rules off my chest, all right, let's take a nice, slow, deep breath in, down to the belly, and out. In and out. I'm going to slow us down a bit here tonight. In and out. A couple more nice, slow, deep breaths. In and out. In and out. And now I'd like to take you to the beach tonight. Go to wherever your favorite beach is. Even if you're not that kind of beachy, lay down on the sand kind of guy or kind of gal. But I'd like you to imagine a beach of pure, glowing, golden sand. This is no ordinary beach. This is no ordinary shore. For you are laying on pure gold. Street value, immense. Healing value, infinite. You are laying on a beach of the divine. With each inhalation, you breathe in pure, golden, glowing light. And with each exhalation, you send that light out to those in need. In glowing golden light, and out, everyone in need. In glowing golden light, and out to everyone in need. Now, this speech has a very special, strange quirk to it. As long as you put down a beach towel, and I recommend whatever's your favorite towel to you, you can actually leave your body and float and hover up, higher, higher, higher still. And with your towel down below, you can come back anytime you want. So you breathe in this amazing healing love and light. And you continue to exhale, sending out healing light to those in need. In healing love and light, and out. But now, in essence, you're temporarily back in spirit form. And I have a mission for you. I want to send you out to a hospital, to a nursing care center, or to anywhere around the world, developing country or anywhere else, where there is somebody laying down on a cot, on the earth, in their bed, and that is just about to breathe their last breaths with COVID-19. And I want you to take a minute with them. And in their state, this minute may seem like a beautiful long eternity. And I want you to let them know everything is all right. Everything is okay. That they are not alone. And that you are there by their side. Keep breathing in that golden healing light and sending out all the love in the world to them. In light, out love. In light, out love. Now you can't save them. That's up to them, their spirit guides, their soul contract, and their own unique spiritual journey. But what you can do is you can be there by their side. You can hold their hand, and you can accompany them, holding space for as far as they will have you go with them. Keep breathing in this golden glowing light and sending out love. You are an angel. You are spirit in human form, and in this moment, you are spirit in spirit form once again. You are the love they need. You are the love they need to hear. And you quite possibly are the love and support they need, not just to fight this, but to be able to peacefully let go and cross over to the other side, where their mother, where their father, where loved ones have always been waiting for them. But they may be waiting and suffering and struggling and holding on with every breath they have because they didn't want to go the journey alone. But now they have you by their side to help them bravely transition, to help them bravely let go, to help them bravely be at peace, to cross this most amazing rainbow bridge. For there is life after life. But sometimes the scariest thing in the world is allowing ourselves to let go. We get to learn how to let go in this life. Those that transition get to let go for their next life. We come in a tunnel, we leave in a tunnel. It's how we live in between the notes that matters most. And at this time, you can make the greatest difference in someone else's life. Breathe in light, send out love. Breathe in light and send out love. Know that this isn't just your job right now during this meditation, but each evening when you go to sleep, if you want to do the superhero's work, go back to the beach, put your towel down on the sand, and take flight as you go to sleep, and be an angel and help someone through this incredibly challenging yet beautiful time. There is karma. It is real. And it is beautiful. For to me, karma means the more love you give away, the more that comes back. I have been in an empty hall, in an empty hospital bed, in an empty hospital room more times than I ever care to imagine or admit. And to feel someone's presence with me during that time would mean anything in the world. And so go, be with someone, help them to heal, help them to breathe, or help them to bridge. It is all beautiful. It is all perfect. And it is all love. And so now, feel free to stay with this person as long as you would like. And when you are ready, or they are ready, you can fly back to your body that's waiting for you there on the beach towel, there on the beach. And know that you have done more good in the last few minutes than in many ways you have done in the last few hours, days, weeks, months, maybe even years. For you just committed the most beautiful, selfless, loving act in the world. And you were there for somebody. I love you guys so, so much. Can't wait to see so many more of you tomorrow night. Keep doing what you're doing. changing lives, saving lives, and bridging lives, helping people know they are never, ever, ever alone. Keep on shining bright. Love you guys so, 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 so much. Love you, Pookie.